So those of you who don't know me, my name is Dan Kerr. I wear many hats here at All Souls. One of the hats I wear is on the outreach team. So anytime we have an event like this and you see the church filled with people from the community, it gives me a very good feeling. So on behalf of our congregation, our priest in charge, Father Ian, it's my privilege to welcome you here this evening. When you came into church, you may have noticed there's a little plaque on the right-hand side, which is our mission statement. I'll speak louder then. Being the youngest of 8 kids, I'm not used to being told I don't speak loud enough, but I will speak louder. So our mission statement is on the door outside. I believe our mission statement is actually on the back of the little concert program as well, right at the top. Now, I'm not going to read the whole mission statement, but what I will read is one sentence from the mission statement, and it says, "We strive to be mutually supportive of the personal spiritual journey, respecting the individuality of all and accepting the value of meeting people wherever they are on that journey." So with that type of mission statement, which we take quite seriously, mission statements are supposed to be your raison d'etre, your reason for existence. And so our mission statement is we meet people wherever they are on their spiritual journey. And we believe everybody's on a spiritual journey. So, and that includes the most recent census, the most rapidly growing religious affiliation. Anyone know what it is?
Nuns.
It's the nuns. Not the nuns that I had the first 8 years of Catholic school, the N-O-N-E-S, the nuns, which are people who proudly say they have no religious affiliation. Well, with all due respect to people without religious affiliation, with all due respect to atheists and agnostics and others who don't align with a particular congregation, if you look for meaning in your life, if you look for peace with your Creator, if you look for peace with the earth, you are on a spiritual journey. So we meet people wherever they are on that spiritual journey. And as a result of that, we meet all sorts of people. One of the hats I wear here is I'm the membership chairman. So it came up today, and we were getting ready. Someone asked me, how many members do you have? And I knew that answer because we have to, as a church in the Episcopal Diocese of Long Island, we have to file a parochial report. And I have to actually state the number of members we have and provide the names to support that number. So we have, if you include recently baptized babies and people living in nursing homes, we have 97. But if you count people in the community such as yourselves, who we have a relationship with, who we communicate with regularly, we've got over 1,100 people. So when we say, how big is the congregation, I tend to focus on the 1,100 because those are the people we're really here to serve. And one of the ways we serve those people, as many of you know because you've told me, you often come here for quiet time. So the doors of this church are open every day. And I can say that with authority because I'm the guy who opens the doors. So every day the doors of this church are open for prayer and reflection. So we meet people because the doors are open every day. We also meet people. These concerts are not just a one-shot deal. Many of you are here to see these wonderful musicians this evening, but we do these concerts every month, Saturdays at 6. And for the first time in the history that I'm aware of, no one called me to tell me, they asked me what time the Saturday at 6 concert was. It still remains at 6 o'clock, which is why we call it Saturdays at 6. So on a monthly basis, we do 3 main outreach programs. We do these concerts, Saturdays at 6. Always the first Saturday or second Saturday of the month. If you're on our Friends of the Church list, you get an email invitation from me. If you're not on the list, you can see there's always a playbill in front of the church. And if you read the Village Times Herald, it's always in there as well. So we do these concerts once a month. We also do poetry once a month. So we have a poetry program called the Second Saturday's Poetry Reading. And we have well-known poets as the featured reader. And anyone else who joins us is invited to read one of their own poems. I serve as the moderator for that program. I wear a few hats here. And we also do Native American drumming, which comes out of the indigenous people experience. It's a healing experience, thousands of years old. We do that once a month as well. In your concert bulletin on the left-hand side, there's a little summary of all the monthly outreach programs. And then there are 2 additional programs. We're Episcopalians here. So on Sunday, we do traditional morning prayer service at 8 o'clock virtually, and we have a Eucharist in the church at 11:15. So we're, Episcopalians in good standing on Sunday. During the week, we're really an ecumenical center. Why do I say we're an ecumenical center? Because we do 2 interfaith services. So every Tuesday, I got to change the sign outside. You may have seen a little yellow sign, and it says Pastor Roy Rivers from the House of Judah is going to be delivering the homily. Actually, I got to change that sign. It's actually going to be Reverend Lisa Williams from the AME Church in Setauket is going to be giving the weekly homily. So every Tuesday, we do an interfaith morning prayer service. And every week, I repeat, every week, we bring in someone as a guest preacher from a different religious, a different spiritual path. And so it's going to be Lisa Williams this week. So we do that. And also, Susan, you want to wave? Our bartender, Susan, in the back, she also leads, my wife, she also leads an interdenominational rosary, which we do here every Wednesday. Interdenominational rosary. Some people never heard of an interdenominational rosary. They think, well, only Roman Catholics do the rosary. Well, that's not true. So we've actually combined things from the Anglican tradition, the Greek Orthodox tradition, and the Roman Catholic tradition. So we do that as well. All right? So those are the different things that we do. If you want to be a friend of the church, I promise not to ask you for money, provided you give me your name and write legibly for your email. It's usually I don't often get it right on the first attempt, so please write legibly. What I'll do is I will put you on our Friends of the Church list, which is now 1,100 people, and I will send you, when we do concerts, we do poetry, or we do Native American drumming, I'll send you an invitation to attend those at least a week in advance. Okay, so again, on behalf of the church and our priest in charge and the congregation, welcome here this evening. Tonight's program, there'll be 2 sets, and there'll be a 15-minute break in between. So there'll be 2 sets, 15 minutes. We do not have a bathroom. Don't worry, I'm not going to tell you to go to the woods. We have a relationship with Fratelli's, the public bathroom is not Fratelli's, I'm sorry. I'm dating myself. It used to be something before Fratelli's. Schnitzels, thank you. I make mistakes. So there'll be 2 sets. There'll be a 15-minute intermission. I lost Susan, so Herb, you want to point to the jar? Oh, no, you are. You don't point to the jar? Herb, would you stay by the jar? Okay. So you'll see me counting whatever you put in there. That's the thank you that goes directly to the musicians. So Herb is the warden of the church, so this is one of the jobs he has. So whatever you put in there, you may see me counting it, but that goes to our 2 musicians as a thank you. Okay? And we will conclude the program by 8 o'clock. Okay? So now let's get to tonight's program. So it's my pleasure to welcome back the Serenade Duo. Let's welcome them back. So, these guys are kind of unique in many ways. You know, we do one of the other things I do here, the hats I wear, is I'm the director of the annual Souls for All Souls 5K race and 2K walk, and they are actually sponsors of that event. I see we have some people who ran and walked in that event as well. And that event, so it's rare that I have fortunate to host musicians that are also sponsors of that event. So they are an award-winning ensemble. It's flutist Michelle Laporta and guitarist Gary Salter. They captivate audiences worldwide with their engaging performances, warm stage presence, and expressive playing of cross-cultural, what they call global chamber music. They've toured extensively across the United States, Europe, Canada, and the Caribbean, performing everywhere from Carnegie Hall to international embassies and festivals, and also at All Souls. This is their second time with us. We got to put them on the list. So they're celebrated for their dynamic blend of flute and Spanish classical guitar. They're known for bringing richly diverse repertoire to concert halls, cultural centers, museums, galleries, libraries, and educational venues. Tonight's program is entitled Mother Nature, in celebration of Women's History Month. So I hope you enjoy the flute and guitar works by composers from around the world, honoring the strength of the feminist spirit and the beauty of nature. I'll tell you a little bit about each one of them. So Michelle, and I apologize for any mispronunciations, is acclaimed Mrs. Iyama, flutes performing artist and a centaur recording artist. In 2025, she was the Artist Fellowship Grant recipient from the Long Island Grants for the Arts. She and I have a lot of things in common, including we're both adjuncts at Suffolk County Community College, although we teach different subjects. So she teaches flute and music history and music theory, and she's the flute lead teacher at the USDM Summer Camp for the Arts. Her youthful appearance notwithstanding, for 20 years, she served as associate professor and coordinator of woodwind studies at 5 Towns colleges in New York. For her commitment to higher education, Professor Laporte has been honored several times in Who's Who among America's teachers. For many years, she had the position of coordinator of music at the Heckscher Museum of the Arts, organizing concerts and connected to the museum's exhibitions. She has a master's degree from LIU, that's the Y, we're in different fields, a BA in music performance from the State University of New York in Stony Brook. It's a pleasure to welcome back Michelle. And the other half of this dynamic duo is Gary Salter. So he's a renowned Alhambra guitarist performing, very Spanish, Alhambra guitarist, performing artist, and Centaur recording artist. He's an endorsed artist with Fishman Music and also recognized as a Royal Strings artist. Plays RC strings exclusively on all of his instruments. He's an applied instructor of classical guitar at Suffolk County Community College and the guitar lead teacher at the Esmond Summer Camp for the Arts. Professor Salter served as Deputy Director of the Music Division as well as the Director of Applied Music at Five Towns College, New York, for over 20 years. He's also the founder or artistic director of the annual Fall Festival of Guitar at Five Towns College. As a result of his dedication to higher learning, Professor Salter was inducted into the Teachers National Honor Society, Phi Sigma Eta. He has a master's degree in performance from Five Towns College, a BA in music from performance from the State University of Stony Brook, which is, I think, where they met, an associate's degree from that college. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the Serenade Duo.
Thank you, Dan, for those kind words. I apologize, I have a little bit of laryngitis. I am not sick in any way, but a little more raspy than normal. It is always a pleasure to play in our community, and especially in this beautiful little gem that we have here in Stony Brook. And we thank you already for coming out and joining us, and we're happy that there was not 2 feet of snow as well. So as Dan mentioned, our program is entitled Mother Nature, in celebration of Women's History Month. And I think it's an International Women's Day tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? But the whole month. We should always be celebrating, right? So we have several works by women composers, and we have some that are dedicated to women and really all about the universal goodness and spirit that hopefully all of humanity, not just women, have. So our first composer, Claudia Montero, is from Argentina originally. She made Spain her home for much of her life, so Spain has sort of claimed her as their own as well. Latin Grammy Award-winning composer, just really a gift to the music world. And sadly, we lost her only at the age of 58 in 2018, I believe. And sadly, she was ill from cancer. During COVID, we had recorded this piece, as we were recording many things at that time, and musicians were pivoting and trying to still fill the world with music. And I got this wonderful email from Mercedes Montero. I had no idea that Claudia had a twin sister who reached out to us, thanking us for keeping Claudia's memory alive. And we have since become very wonderful pen pals and have stayed in touch. And it is always a gift for us to be able to share her music. That is the legacy that lives on. And as I said, Mercedes is just a delight. She's been so supportive. We will be recording this work for an upcoming project, and she has given us her blessing, and we are happy to share this with you. So the Suite de las Buenos Aires is in 3 movements. Excuse me. The first movement, Preludio and Nemita, a prelude and a lullaby, and Intermedio Melancolico, so literally a sort of palate cleanser in between, and Fugueta and Despiada, which is a farewell. In Claudia's own words, with this suite, she wanted to, it's somewhat of a love letter to her homeland of Buenos Aires, and she wanted to portray the contrast between a city full of life and a city full of romanticism.
Thank you, everyone, for coming tonight. Please excuse me, I had to change strings late this week, so Michelle's going to fill you in on the Fantasia Mulatta while I do so.
The life of the guitarist.
Yes.
So our next composer is Ernesto Cordero, originally from Puerto Rico, but really spent his time between Puerto Rico and New York. He is now in sunny Puerto Rico. He made a good choice. He was born in 1946. He is alive and well and still composing. And what's that?
So am I.
Yes, that's good. We all are. That counts for something, right? And his Fantasia Mulatta really referencing particularly a woman of mixed race. This is really a mix of characters. You're going to hear some Puerto Rican folk songs, some Latin rhythms, and a lot of interesting, I hope you find it interesting, dialogue between the flute and guitar. It is very much a piece that kind of celebrates the conversation between our instruments, which is something that we tend to gravitate towards. So this is Fantasia Mulatta. You all tuned? Do I need to tell a joke?
You never know.
All right. So our next selection to close out this first set is one of our favorite composers, and we hope you'll enjoy it as well. Jose Luis Merlin also comes from Argentina. He is oftentimes referred to as the poet of the guitar. He's written many beautiful works for solo guitar, a great collection of works for flute guitar, and is continuing to create new things, which we're very grateful for. His Progressions para Pauline, in keeping with our Women's History theme in celebration, is actually written for a woman by the name of Pauline Lassalle, who was a Latin American human rights activist who Jose Luis Merlin met in Oregon. And he met her, was awestruck with her fighting for what was good in the world, her positivity. She was just this beacon of light. And after meeting her, a friend came up to Jose Luis Merlin and said, Pauline is dying of cancer. Did you know that? He had no idea. Became fast friends with her, and she knew that she did not have much time left on this earth, and asked him to write a piece for her. And the one request she said is, it cannot be sad. It must be a celebration of life. And this was such a beautiful and heartwarming tribute to his dear friend, Pauline. And really, I think not only is a celebration of life, but a spirit of resilience. And I hope that you feel that as well. So sort of this defiance for what she fought for in the world as well.
communities. So let's welcome back the Serenade Duo.
So our second half of the program is going to open with some works by Florence Price. Has anyone heard of Florence Price before? I knew I'd have a couple in the back. So it is indeed our honor, and I say that wholeheartedly, to bring Price's music to flute and guitar. Most of her works, was an amazing composer of African American heritage, born in Arkansas, and faced not only the challenges of being a classical composer in a very male-dominated world, but also being of African American heritage. So she had so many challenges, and during her lifetime, she was so many barriers that are unfathomable. And yet she rose up and gave us such a collection of amazing works, most of which were written for piano, for organ, for some strings. She's the first African American woman to ever have a symphony played by a major orchestra. And some of her works we only recently have the privilege of knowing about. In 2009, she had moved to, she didn't move in 2009, she had moved to Chicago in the 50s. And when she passed away, she did have some children, but they were not in touch, and there's lots of speculation as to what happened in the family. She's got a really interesting heartbreaking life in some ways. And in 2009, the home that she lived in was purchased outside of Chicago in the suburbs. And this couple, the house was falling apart. The roof had caved in many places. There was water damage everywhere, except for the dining room table, where hundreds of manuscripts were completely unharmed. And the people who bought the house went, wait, all of these say Florence Price. Who is Florence Price? And thank goodness they had the wherewithal to not just throw them out, because this was this amazing treasure trove of works. One of the ones we'll be playing, the third one, Adoration, is one of those works that was discovered in 2009, composed just a couple of years before her death. So this is a bit of a project that we are working on. We're trying to get some grant funding for it as well, to continue the discovery of Florence Price and hopefully to bring her to the forefront. So she is quite a wonderful figure that more people, next time I ask that question, I want everyone raising their hands. They know about her. So the first selection, The Deserted Garden, was originally for violin and piano, composed in 1933. And each of the three works that we chose was to give a little window into some of her style. I think of Florence Price as writing an American, with an American style, but it's her America, it's her sound. So Deserted Garden, Tickling Toes. I'm gonna play a little piccolo for you on that. Don't get scared, it's fun piccolo. I'm not playing Stars and Stripes, sorry. And Adoration is really this beautiful spiritual, and we couldn't have a better environment with which to
So there are particular challenges when working to get something to fit on the guitar. My instrument, I describe it to students as I have a 2-octave piano represented by each string that is separated by an interval of a fourth, except for between the G and B, somebody thought that should be a third intervallically. So to get piano music, organ music, to fit on the guitar is a comprehensive rewrite. And what you heard and what you're hearing is a melodic function that was exact, but artistic liberties, like a fictional story that is told by a director. I've taken artistic liberties to make it work on the guitar the way I see fit, which is something of a creation. So the next selection is Ticklin' Toes, and I guess I'm showing my age a bit. My thought in creating this was I probably heard it in the car or something. I heard an old track by the band, and I saw the harmony and thought, well, Ticklin' Toes is sort of like that, so let me make this work in that style.
A little ragtime sort of feel to it.
Good.
And it had to be on piccolo, right? So you did not write that, obviously, for piccolo. And we started it, I played it on flute. I said, there's something missing. I know what it is.
And as Michelle mentioned, the last selection, Adoration, of this trilogy of pieces we have right now, was originally written for solo organ, I guess what would be described as meditation music, pre-service. So nothing about the organ and the guitar is sort of simpatico. There's no way that I can sustain like an organ. So again, in this particular accompaniment, I kind of went all out and changed everything but the structural sound of the chord she wanted. For example, if Price wanted a minor 9 sound, I did it, but I didn't do it the way she did it. Simplest way to describe it.
Whatever works.
Yes.
Okay. We'll keep going.
Thank you.
So our next selection, we're actually doing a little shift of order. We're going to be playing the piece by Michelle Kirchner, The False May. Not a woman composer, but the inspiration behind Michelle Kirchner's work. The Place de May is the oldest public square in Buenos Aires, in Argentina. And to this day, there is what they call the Mother's March. And it started when the political regime, where they were going through a lot of turmoil, to say the least, I'm trying to find a nice way to say that, and people were disappearing for their beliefs. And the mothers, wanting to do something and to draw attention, started to march to the town square every day to honor with photos of sons, daughters, husbands, relatives that they had lost. And so that no one ever forgets, that still happens every day. And this square has seen great celebrations and great festivities, but it also is a place of remembrance and of honoring those who were lost. So it has a lot of emotions to it. As players, I think we always feel it. There is, anytime you are facing struggles, there is sadness, there is upsetment, but there's also defiance and resilience, all things that I think we can relate to no matter what time we're living in. So you're going to, I hope, feel a lot of that exploration of the richness of the humanity and the emotions of the Mother's March. I think, to keep us on time, we're going to end with a different piece, also somewhat inspired by our environment here today. And for those of you here at our last concert, I think we played this as an encore, which last May, excuse me. This is by an Italian composer, Roberto Di Marino, entitled Gabrielle. Excuse me, sorry to have laryngitis. I'm glad I'm not a singer.
Me
You
too.
should be glad I'm not a singer too. Gabrielle, obviously a woman's name, so it keeps with our celebrating Women's History Month. And I actually was intrigued. I said, well, what does Gabrielle actually mean? And I thought, of course, of the archangel of Gabrielle, the male version of that. And the translation, or the meaning behind Gabrielle, is a mighty woman of God. Which, again, what a perfect place for us. And I love the mighty woman. And I hope a good closer for our program in celebration of that strength. It also has characters of divine strength, power, and courage. Also all things that I think are worth celebrating. So special thanks to Dan and Sue for having us again. They are such a gift to the community, putting so many wonderful programs, bringing so many people together in a welcoming space, and we could all use more of that. So we are very, very grateful, and we'll come back whenever you'll have us. And this is Gabrielle.
Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we have a few minutes, if anyone would like to ask any questions. Our musicians this evening.
Maybe they want to tell us about their instruments a little.
The instruments, sure. So tonight I'm playing a Alhambra guitar that was given to me by Alhambra Guitars of Spain. This is a Javier Mengal, who's the chief master craftsman there. This is his handmade guitar. And it's for guitar geeks. It's a cedar top with selected Indian rosewood and a maple insert here. And it's just an all wood instrument. There's no composite, traditional bracing, little modification in it. And I've had it since 2022. I absolutely love it. It's one of my true prized possessions. Michelle, what about you?
Well, I'll go with the wood first. So
Yeah.
the piccolo is actually, it's kind of fun looking, right? The head joint is 2 different woods, so it's made out of wood as well. It's Grenadilla wood is the dark wood, the same wood that clarinets are made out of. And the head joint, the bands are the dark wood, and then the lighter color is Vera wood. And it kind of, I liked this one. I've had it a really long time. It has more of like almost a wood flute sound. It's a little less harsh than sometimes what you think of as a piccolo sound. And my main concert flute, all right, here's the pronunciation, Dan. Ready? Miyazawa is the brand. It kind of sounds like a motorcycle, which makes me feel kind of cool. So I'm a Miyazawa artist. I've played Miyazawa flutes, different instruments, literally since I'm a teenager. And this one is very special. It's kind of one of a kind because it's a blend of different things. And let me explain what I mean. So most flutes, it looks silver here, right? And it is, but it's actually a blend of silver and gold. If you get up close, you can see it's a little bit darker than silver would be. And the head joint is a solid gold head joint. And the different metals that flutes are made out of really affect the sound quality as well as obviously the player. But gold is a little darker sounding, a little warmer. The silver is a little brighter. So with guitar, the blend kind of, for me, gives me the best of both worlds. It still has some of that lightness of silver in terms of its articulation, its response, but it's a little richer with the guitar. So
Is it coated, Michelle?
is it?
Coated with something? Do you have to polish it?
You polish it, but just with like a soft cloth, it's not there. This one actually has a little feature is that it's rhodium plated on some of the connectors, which actually prevents some tarnish. So it's an oldie, and it's been all over the world, and it's been like my best friend, other than right?
Other questions?
Thank you.
I have one.
Thank you.
I have one.
Yeah.
Well, my wife and I got married back in 1993. The priest who married us recognized that there was some real differences between us. So you guys have got some real challenges in your relationship because your personalities are so different. And he sent us the Myers-Briggs testing so we could understand what those differences are. So my question to each of you, the flute and the guitar, obviously two very different instruments. Is that indicative? Is there a type of style or personality that gravitates to those instruments? And how have you play so well together? How have you traversed whatever difference?
That's a great question.
Really, that's an action-packed question.
You want to go first?
I'll try. Unpack all of that's going in my head. Well, Jerry and I have been playing together we've been married for 35 years in May. I was a child bride.
Yeah. She was 16, I was 22.
So I think, the two instruments are different, and what we try to do is celebrate what's different about them, but to also, I always think of, I'll give you a specific. So when I'm fading, when I'm tapering a note, I don't think about getting softer, I think about fading into the guitar, which is not a solo thing to do. That's an ensemble concept. So I think we try to bring out the natural timbres of the instruments, but to have them blend, and the conversation I mentioned earlier as well, that we kind of keep the uniqueness between the two. There's also so much music written for the two instruments, and I think we've landed in this place after so many years that we really play things that we love. that highlight the differences, but also keep the balance between the two instruments.
There are, from the guitar perspective, there's so few dedicated ensemblists. There are great soloists who will have a drink with a flute player and decide to play a concert the next day or the next month. And in our case, I like to see it, and I have friends in the audience who know my other great passion is tennis. I'm a doubles player when it comes to music. I prefer singles on the tennis court, but I'm a doubles player when it comes to music. And basically that means I really only want to do this because this is where I feel the most natural at. Being a soloist is a beautiful thing, guitar solo, but I don't feel like I can communicate something like The Price if I do it only by myself. And I feel there's also a lot of people who do it, and being a dedicated soloist is, I think, unique, or a dedicated ensemble player, I think is unique. And our sound, we've been at it for a long time, and we grow together, as good marriages do.
But it takes work. No matter how long you've played together, it's always, the illusion, we always talk about this when we teach, is, the illusion when we perform is it should look easy, right? You should leave feeling uplifted. I hope you did. But it's work to bring that to life. I think anything in
How's your
life.
practice schedule?
We've gotten more, it's funny, you should ask that. We've gotten more dedicated to our practice in the last few years. Some things have changed where we're doing even more performing, and we're doing things like arranging and such. So we thankfully have a studio that's on our property but separate to our house, which is good because it means we can go out there and we don't argue about like the trash or who needs to clean the sink.
That's the music.
So we go out there and that's the work. And we've gotten a little more regimented with that. We also practice separate a lot.
Yes.
So that when we come together, and students listen to this, make sure that you come to your rehearsals prepared. And that's true, even though, we're together.
And
it's
both of us
important.
love to practice. It's, for all our lives, it was never, you should go and practice, Jerry. It was, Jerry, come on, we got dinner on the table. You got to put the guitar down. So for us to practice it, I tell students all the time, practice as many times as you can through the day for no more than 25 or 30 minutes. And I'll do that myself 8-10 times a day. Our guitar will be out. I'm up before her, so I make the coffee and do my scales still every day. And after breakfast, that guitar needs a string change, or this one needs to have this piece playing on it, or we're planning to record, so I want to try a microphone. So it's the professional life. It's what it is. And it's a lot of fun. Never feels like work.
All right, any other questions? Okay, let me just say as we close, next 3 concerts. So on April 11th, we have Tom Manuel in Gospel Road. Tom Manuel from Jazz Club. And his group Gospel Road will be here on April 11th. May 2nd, we have a PhD from Stony Brook University, Stephen Bourgon. And on June 6th, we have the classical Spanish guitarist, Francisco Roldan. Remember, on the way out, there's the thank you to the musicians in the back, and if you want to be on the Friends of the Church list, the invitations to sign up. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
Next 3 concerts. So on April 11th, we have Tom Manuel in Gospel Road. Tom Manuel from Jazz Club. And his group Gospel Road will be here on April 11th. May 2nd, we have a PhD from Stony Brook University, Stephen Bourgon. And on June 6th, we have the classical Spanish guitarist, Francisco Roldan. Remember, on the way out, there's the thank you to the musicians in the back, and if you want to be on the Friends of the Church list, get invitations, just come up here. Thank you very much.